but it's like you got to figure out, well, what was different about the day when I was off? You know, maybe I didn't get as excited. Maybe I didn't pace enough and warm up enough. Maybe I didn't like treat it with a lot of weight. Like you got to like, there's a lot of heaviness to like going on stage. Like, here we go. And then you also have to be like looser on stage sometimes. And it's like, there's a lot of variables, which is why it's exciting.
Do you feel like more pressure, the better? The more pressure you feel, the better you do?
Some pressure. Yeah, you need some pressure.
That's interesting.
I get nervous for every show.
That means you love it.
Yeah.
Tiger Woods said that. He's like, yeah, I get nervous before every round, and that's how I know I still love it.
Yeah, that's what fighters say too. Like, but fighters say the worst feeling is like when you're not nervous. Because if you're not nervous and you go, and some of them are fine with that, but a lot of them, they want to be on edge. They want to be like in the green room getting ready, like,
yeah, yeah.
You know, because then the nerves and everything is you're excited about this moment, and it's an important moment for you, and that's important.
You know you care.
Yeah.
You know you care.
Yeah, you
in a situation like that. Yeah.
You gotta care, and you know people don't like to be uncomfortable, but I think through being uncomfortable, that's where the growth comes. That's where you learn things.
Yeah. Well, after you feel nervous and then you do the thing and you do it well.
Yeah.
The feeling of relief you get afterwards is amazing.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like I went on the PBD podcast recently, Patrick Bet David, and I went in there knowing, I mean, they're like sort of like a grind set show.
I wouldn't know how to describe
make money, hustle culture, that sort of
hustle.
stuff. And I went in there, and as somebody who's on the left, you know, they're not really going to agree with me on it, but they're nice enough guys, and you know, they're in favor of open dialogue and discussion of different ideas. And I was like, hey, this should be fun. And so I went in there knowing it was a little bit like the Lion's Den. So I was a little nervous, but I went in there and the conversation went great. They're really nice guys. You know, we got a great reaction to it. And the feeling afterwards of relief was like, oh.
That's interesting because you went in there like ready to do battle.
No, I didn't go in there thinking like there's going to be a fight.
But contentious, perhaps.
Yes, I thought, you know, they're not going to agree with me on some stuff, and so I need to be able to explain myself in a way that can change their mind or at least give them pause and make them rethink it. And I think I largely succeeded on that front. A lot of people in their own audience said, you know, hey, I like what this guy had to say.
No,
so
you did a great job. I watched some clips from that. You did a great job. He's a great guy. He really is a great guy.
He's fair. He was fair.
Genuine.
Yeah, he was genuine. He wasn't trying to like, you know, because some people, if you have a debate and they're different perspectives, some people will go in with like the I'm going to own this person mindset,
Right.
and that's not him. He just genuinely wanted to know, like, how do you think about this? Tell me what you think about this.
Even when he doesn't agree with you, he's fair.
Correct. Yeah. That's right.
He's a very genuine person, and that's the appeal, and that's why he's doing so well. You know, we talked about that, the authenticity that like I talked about last night with Crystal, saying with you guys and with Sagar and with Jimmy Dore, and even if you don't agree with people, what they're saying, I know that's what you genuinely believe and feel, and it's based on thinking, it's based on your research, it's based on your comprehension of whatever the subject you're talking about. This is your real opinion, and that's what people are missing in mainstream media, and that's why you guys are eating their lunch. That's why you're killing it. There's a real reason for it, because people have been deprived of that by executives and networks that are orchestrating everything and giving people talking points and making people stay in these narrow parameters. Did you say there was a woman that was, I forget who she was interviewing, but she was talking about something about climate change, and she was asking a question, and then she goes, okay, all right, I'm getting in trouble now. Let me, because she has an earpiece in.
Oh, shit.
And so someone's saying, get off the climate change, stop talking about.
Producer in the ear,
And
sure.
so she has to course correct in the middle of the thing, which is virtually impossible.
Yeah.
And also fucks up the flow that makes people resonate with what you're saying. Because I want to know that if you and Patrick Bet David are disagreeing about a subject, I want to know that it's your thoughts and his thoughts. Like, let me see which one I agree with. Let me see why Kyle feels the way he feels and why Patrick disagrees. And let me see them work this out.
And sometimes that takes 30 or 40 minutes.
Yes.
And if you're doing CNN, MSNBC, Fox News, like you got 4-minute hit in and out, man.
Yes.
Ask one question,
crazy.
give me one like cut and dry answer, and then let's move on here. And nobody's learning anything. And also the people who are on screen, you don't know what they actually think about this thing. Because if they're on a network where maybe if they tell you the thing they really think, that's going to, buck the orthodoxy, and then they're in trouble, and then they're out.
Exactly.
Because I think networks are afraid of backlash. So if somebody says something, let's say that's true, but also like goes against the grain, they might see some a response from the audience. They'll be like, "Oh, I mean, we don't want any advertisers to flee. Let's cut this controversy off." And that's honestly, that is the worst thing you could possibly do. The best way to handle it is, and I do this too. If I'm going to say something where I feel like my own audience isn't even going to agree with me on this, you got to say it if you're telling the truth, and then just let the chips fall where they may. And one of the things I learned from you is just don't engage, with Twitter and the mentions and YouTube comments, because if you're getting good criticism, that's one thing, and you can tell when a criticism is fair. But if you're getting criticism that you're like, this isn't even close to true, and now it's making me feel like shit,
and then you're angry, and then you
it's like, what's
respond
the
to
point?
that. Yeah.
I'm going to waste 3 hours feeling negative emotions because some douchebag is attacking me when they don't even know what I really think on the issue.
Yeah.
Then that's a totally different thing,
Or they've just seen a clip where you might have looked at both sides of it, but they're only seeing this one side that you're looking at, and they're like, "Oh, Kyle is turning his back on this and that," and like. And then you're like, "No, I'm not." And then you're like, and then you get into it.
Don't engage.
Don't engage.
Don't engage.
Yeah, don't engage.
It keeps your mind pure too. If you're like, for what I do, I got to read a lot of articles and watch a lot of videos and then react to it. And I have more of an untainted perspective if I go right to the source, read it, and then I react. Whereas if I see what other people are saying first, I don't want it to like sort of taint my own process going through the original material. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, yeah. It's a complex little dance we're doing. It's interesting. But the beautiful thing is that for now, you're getting these people that aren't influenced by a group of people that have a vested interest on gaining some financial benefits from this show being successful. So they're trying to like navigate it, move it in a way that they think is going to be the most commercially successful. But they're not the people with the opinions. They're not the people that are funny. They're not the people that are putting out the entertainment value of it. They're just the people that are profiting off of it. And those are generally the people that fund it, the executives, the network, the people. But that's why CNN sucks. It's because like they're trying to do that, but you can't do that. And so you have these people that are willing to do that. You have the Brian Stelters and the Don Lemons that are willing to like play ball and stay narrow. And they're in these narrow pathways, and people just don't like it.
Yeah.